so many times us human beings don't analyze our time and our behaviors and how we are spending our time. And then we complain that there's not enough money available to us. But if the money is a direct reflection of how we spend our time. And so a lot of times people live in this, poor me victim type of mentality. And I'll tell you, I'm able to build my income to seven figures. I grew up in Wisconsin, a small town of 2,000 people. No, no huge opportunity. No one's given me anything. I paid for over half of my schooling. Like, I had to make it on my own. I married my high school sweetheart. I'm the breadwinner, the only income earner in the household by design. But like, I'm not special. I'm not this one to nothing has been handed down to me and then I get to come talk on the Dana Grant show about money. It's like, no, I figured it out. And it all comes back to your time and your behaviors and how you're spending those two things to be able to create more wealth. And I don't want to downplay, not like money's super important. Like, we need money to fully live out our skills and our talents and our strengths, right?
Yeah.
And so we don't want to downplay the how to about money, but we also want to also understand that too, the psychology around money is really a mirror of yourself.
Welcome back to the Dana Grant Show, where we don't only just talk about heart-centered conversations, but we rewire money through our heart energy too. And I've got someone in the house today you're going to want to know, Dawn Dahlby. She is redefined financial wealth through behavior. And I'm going to let that unfold because you're going to want to take notes, get your pen and paper before we even get started, because this is going to be a download you're not going to want to miss. Dawn, welcome to the show. Dawn's in the house.
I know, Dana. Super, super excited to be here with you and the energy and just all of the things we're going to discuss today about money and life and how to use both of those to your advantage.
I love that. And, I'm sitting here looking, and this morning I was reviewing your book, Live Wealthy, and what that means. And, I have so many questions for you, but let's start here. As I look at your book, at my notes, what does it mean? What does true wealth not just mean, but what does it mean to you? Because I know you teach from a place of more spiritual connection with money. And I know that the biggest fear for people is lack and scarcity and safety. And you actually have redefined and have committed yourself to teaching another way to maintain wealth, and not just get it, but maintain it. So I can't wait to dive in because
let's go, right?
It's
First of all, I think we all have a scarcity mindset. I have never met anyone that doesn't. And so for 25 years, I thought that just giving the technical advice, like learning how money works, how do you have money work for you, and getting real technical about all the how-tos with money, how to have good cash flow, a good spending plan, a good insurance plan, a good retirement plan, a good tax plan, estate plan. Like, I spent 25 years figuring all of the hows for people. Then I realized it's not just about the hows, because even though these people have a financial plan, know they're not going to run out of money, they still feared money. And they still feared running out of money. So it's like, oh, we have to take this money conversation to the next level and realize that it's not just about the how. The hows are super important. Technical financial advice from a financial advisor is a non-negotiable. We have to take it this level deeper of, what does it really mean to have a good relationship with money, and not just know you have enough, but feel that you have enough. And so my real definition, of live wealthy, WELLthy.
Yeah, it's so clever. I love that.
Right?
That's why let's show it again, just in case you missed it, because it's live wealthy. Love it.
Yes. And there's so many different, I could go on and on about the true meaning, but if I had to sum it up into two things, the first thing is about building internal wealth, At the same time, you're building external wealth. So it's not just one or the other, it's the internal worth and the external wealth at the same time. And then what I also think is super important, and Dana, I don't know your age, but I'm going to disclose that I might be in my fifth decade, the middle of my fifth decade on this planet.
I'm in my sixth decade.
Sixth decade. Okay.
Six decades.
So, well, you don't look it, girl. But I will tell you this.
Did you?
No matter what decade you're in, I believe that true wealth is this internal, external wealth, but it's also about managing both your time and your money.
Yeah.
Because I have met so many people that have money, but aren't aligning that money with their time. And what happens? They live an ungrateful, unfulfilled, unhappy life.
But isn't money and time like co-creators?
Co-creator, and they should be, but no, you think about it, like, I don't know about your parents, but, like, I watched the an older generation than me value money over their time. Like, I would rather waste 3 days to go do this to save myself $400. Like, they don't value time as much as money, and why? Because of the scarcity mindset, and scarcity mindset is it's a compilation of how we were raised, how our parents were raised, and it's also about, I mean, it is hard to, I mean, there's a reality of it, life isn't just like you got to make really good decisions and have a really good mindset and do all the right things to have an abundant life, right? So it's not just given to us. So there's biological reasons. We have a scarcity mindset, how our mind works. There's environmental reasons, like because of how we were raised with our parents. And there's the reality of like life isn't easy. It can get easier if you make really good, sound financial decisions. But I just think that we all come from the scarcity mindset. So at the end, we need to work on the technical how-tos and that behavioral, the relationship with money, and know that true wealth is about time and money and internal and external wealth at the same time.
I love that. And you got me thinking about the time I've wasted chasing different things and chasing money. And now I look at money as energy, and that if I'm the authority in my life, it will follow me. And my greatest asset and currency at this age is time. And that currency equates to money. If I waste my time, I'm wasting my money. What do you think about that? I mean,
It's true. I think so many times us human beings don't analyze our time and our behaviors and how we are spending our time. And then we complain that there's not enough money available to us. But if the money is a direct reflection of how we spend our time. And so a lot of times people live in this, poor me, victim type of mentality. And I'll tell you, I'm able to build my income to 7 figures. I grew up in Wisconsin, a small town of 2,000 people. No, no huge opportunity. No one's given me anything. I paid for over half of my schooling. Like, I had to make it on my own. I married my high school sweetheart. I'm the breadwinner, the only income earner in the household by design. But like, I'm not special. I'm not this one to nothing has been handed down to me and then I get to come talk on the Dana Grant show about money. It's like, no, I figured it out. And it all comes back to your time and your behaviors and how you're spending those two things to be able to create more wealth. And I don't want to downplay, money's super important. Like, we need money to fully live out our skills and our talents and our strengths, right?
Yeah.
And so we don't want to downplay the how-to about money, but we also want to also understand that too, the psychology around money is really a mirror of yourself. And so how do we become better? How do we build that internal wealth a little bit better? How do we become better spiritual human beings so we can make better decisions and combine that how and that behavior at the same time? That's how you get to live wealthy.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And you know what comes to mind when you say that out of my script of questions I wanted to ask, but I think about all the people that say, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. And I watch what they spend and I'm like, it doesn't
Right.
align. It's the different frequency of here I am over here overspending, but I'm over here not value. So I always shift that and say, you're not valuing perhaps this over here, like you're valuing that over there. What do you say to the people that say that? And I think I hear this the most. I
Mhm.
can't afford that.
Mhm.
There's a lot of fear around spending. Maybe let's just use personal development. Oh, I could never spend that. I would never spend that. But they'll go into Target or a department store and within a month drop twice as much and not even remember what they bought.
Because people are broke because of their misaligned values.
There we go. And that goes to your book, which is the one page that spoke to me the most was action steps, connecting values and beliefs.
Mhm.
Let's
So
dive in
true.
there. Yeah.
Yes. That is the key to everything that I do. I consider myself a wealth expert, a investment expert, a tax expert, all these kind of things, but everything ties back to that purposeful alignment of one's values.
Yeah.
And so when people say I can't afford personal development, but they can sure afford the meal out or spending extra money in at Target, what I can't afford is a misaligned statement. So you can afford it if it's that important to you. I don't care what your income level is.
Yeah.
It's just that we spend money because we're comparing ourselves or we're going along the same lines of society and we think we need to spend money in X, Y, and Z or because it's always been done like that. But when it comes down to really grasping your top 5 core values and understanding the why are those your values? And then creating a
Right.
spending plan around that, you stop the conversation, you stop the vocabulary of I can't afford that.
Well, and there is a time, Dawn, and tell me about what you feel about this. I'm dropping in again, and I'm gonna use me as a little guinea pig here. I have said I can't afford a financial advisor. I don't have or I can't afford an accountant when the fact of the matter is I don't want to put a microscope or a blueprint, and I don't want them to pull back and perhaps see what I'm spending.
So here's the
There's some shame there, like, ooh, then they'll see that I probably have overspent in my life, and I'm just gonna say, "Oh, well, I don't need that right now," or, "Oh, I just can't afford that right now."
Right. Oh my gosh, that's the divine spiritual intervention here. I'm just getting the goosebumps on my left arm because I was
Yeah.
thinking about this as I was getting ready today. This same exact thing is money's hard because it forces us to look at our behaviors
Yeah.
and we tend to feel shameful and guilty about the new purse or the shoes or the beautiful,
Yeah.
the beautiful sweaters, the clothes, right? But that makes us feel good short term, and there's nothing wrong with those things. Let me just I'm
Yeah.
a girl that believes that there's nothing wrong with those things either.
Yeah, I saw those I bet
Oh,
you
the
the
shoes, yeah, the
shoes
purse,
and
yeah.
yeah, you gotta go yeah, it's like all the things. Yeah.
All the things, but I think what happens why people don't examine their money because they're having to examine their actions and their behaviors and then dealing with the money of I can't afford, right? So think about this. I can't afford an advisor. Well, then so not only you have to look at yourself, you have to like spend money on things that someone else is going to be like shame on you or you're going to
Yeah.
feel that, right? So
You're
yes.
investing on someone dissecting
Yes.
parts of yourself that you're like, I'm not gonna show that." So it would almost like a double bind.
It is. It's a double bind, and that's why I think there's so much of this, stigmatism around, like, we can't afford an advisor. Let me just clear that up real quick. A
Yeah.
true fiduciary advisor doesn't cost you really. I mean, you have to pay. The statistics are is you pay 1% of your assets to get 3% back. So that's a really good return. So
Yeah.
the thing is like I'm a small business owner. I have to not only do my financial plan, I have to like really be particular about my taxes, my estate plan, how my business is set up, how I'm like there's so much to money and then it's so overwhelming and people feel stupid around it and then they don't want to face the behavior stuff so they don't do anything. And when you
Yeah.
fall into that trap, Dana, it's literally costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so it's like you have to face it. And it to get to this other side of life, I don't care what it is with your money, with your career, with your relationships, you got to face a little pain to get to some significant gain. And the gain on the other side is so worth it financially because it's not about the money. The money's a tool. It's the green stuff. It just sits in your bank, right? We kind of make up what money is in our lives, but we want to better ourselves because we want to better our lives so we can have better experiences or we can have cooler shoes and purses and sweaters. And so I would tell your audience and anyone listening that don't feel shameful and guilty about your spending. We all have pain in our lives. And sometimes we want to spend to make us feel good, even though it's short term. Or for women, we want to like, it's hard to age. We want the little bit like nicer stuff. We want to like, it's okay. But I will tell you, you can afford all of the things. You just got to buy the right things that are aligned with what you truly value and understand what you value. And then you stop the vocabulary of "I can't afford it."
I love that you just said that. I mean, I bought a new Range Rover, I think 4 years ago. Now, I didn't own property at the time, but because I come from a real my grandmother was one of the largest brokers in California, a female. It was embedded in me and my mom too. Buy real estate. You never buy a new car, never, never, never. And so never, never, never. But I woke up one day, it just happened to be on December 31st, drove to the dealership, bought the Discover. I love this car, love it, paid for it, could afford it, didn't want to buy property at that time. And I gave myself permission, even though it went against every story that I had ever created around money. I'm going to tell you that level of freedom, whether it was a right or wrong in my mind, there was a right or wrong. Let's check those boxes of what is right and wrong. And what that did for me was give me the freedom, and my business went ba-boom the minute I stopped.
Believing what someone else
Yeah,
believed, right? All the stories,
exactly.
right?
All the stories.
All the stories, and we hold on to those because of how our brains work. Like, our brains are formed right? They're formed by the time we're no, our brains are formed not till we're 26, but this loop happens, right? So we start to believe what our parents and grandparents and whatever leader we had in our life talk to us about money, and anytime we go against that, we start to feel all the negative toxic emotions, which is not fair to us. And so
Yeah.
your story, what you just said, is unpacking the beliefs, right? It's unpacking the beliefs and for you to feel confident enough to have the car if that was in alignment with your values. And then you have to rediscover some of those beliefs about money. And because even though it didn't work for whoever told you to not buy the car, look at what it did to your business. Look at
Yeah.
what it did to you in your internal worth and your internal wealth, right? It made you feel maybe more confident, whatever. It's just like you
Just
had
lit me up. I
this
just want
the
it.
energy,
Yeah.
life
The
energy.
energy. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So it's the positive energy that comes in. Or you could have bought
Yeah.
in real estate and with
Yeah.
negative energy, and then you wouldn't have made money on it. Like,
No.
yeah. So, yes, it's just, it's this alignment piece that is so critically important that I think most people miss out on
Mm.
is we are all bundles of energy and we gotta, like, we're all created different. And how much money I need to live wealthy is different than yours, Dana. And it's different than the listeners. And it's like, quit comparing yourself to your neighbor and start comparing yourself to you and
Yeah.
making sure that you are wealthy with your own money or with your own life and your own decisions and your own time. Because I'm telling you, what it comes down to is you look at the billion trillionaires on this planet. I would
Yeah.
not trade
Yeah.
their life with my life. You know
Right.
what I mean? The extra millions of dollars
Yep.
pays for what?
Yep.
Right? It pays for more headaches. It pays for more like more headaches is really what it comes
And
down
more
to.
financial advisors and more. There's a lot more to manage.
Noise. It's noise. And the happiest people on earth are balanced people. They're not working 80 hours a week. They're not, having 15 houses out there. They are not having 15 cars and 25 boats and more. More is not always better. Right? And so it's this balance in people's lives to have time to be spiritually connected, to have time to be physically connected with people and emotionally connected with people and have the money. Like one of my core values is excitement, which you can it's not a shocker, right? With my energy. But so what does excitement mean to me? For me, it doesn't necessarily mean travel like it means for, people might say travel is their level of excitement. For me, I love to entertain my home. I love to have parties. I love to have like parties with my families. And so, my family's coming in a couple of weeks and I went crazy. We got the bartender, we got the customized tool or the customized pool towels. I live in a house that's a resort and I don't care what the expense is.
I love
We're
that
gonna do it because
you're calling it in, and yeah,
but I don't have to worry about a penny because I know that's my alignment piece. So
yeah.
I don't care. Like everyone's having matching shoes. We're having a DJ come in. We're just doing all of the
Oh my
things.
gosh, I'm gonna come.
Right?
I want to come to that party with little matching shoes and jelly bean bags and
Exactly. And the matching t-shirts. And we
oh
just
yeah.
are gonna laugh and have
Cool.
a good time. And you know what I mean? So when I'm in that place of my meaning of core value excitement with my family, I don't care what it costs. Like, I don't care what we do, and so that's a really good place to not have to worry about living out your core values and having that fear, "Can I afford this?" Like, to
Correct.
me, that's the worst place anyone can be is, okay, so here are my core values, here's the actual cost to my core values, and I can't live them out because I haven't lived confidently, or I haven't taken on a little bit extra risk to make more money, or I haven't done this, or because my parents told me I should have done this and I did this. And so I live in this toxic emotion. Like all that kind of stuff is BS. Like you got to let it go and start living you. And I'm telling you, as I said earlier, I'm just a girl from a farm town in Wisconsin, and then I moved to Minnesota. Now I'm in Arizona. I am not special. No one gave me anything. I just did personal development and for myself and figured out the how.
and and merged it with
Money.
with money, which
Yeah.
is so powerful. So powerful to find that balance. And how do you guide your clients from just surviving financially to truly this freedom that you're talking about to create and to belong and to navigate and make decisions from a place of knowing, not fear. Just
Yeah.
make the
Mhm.
decision and release it and have this financial freedom.
So it's a combination of the yin and the yang, the in and out, just like live wealthy. It's all about the in and out. It's about the time and the money. It comes down to the taxes and the core values. So
Mm.
those 2 things. So we talk about core values, but how do you how do you get to that point? You can do personal development and do your core values and understand, but technically you also need to free up money. And so you can start having your money work harder for you than you've done for it.
Well, how do people break that relationship with the old version of themselves and build a new bridge, a new relationship with money? Because their bind is always with the money.
Yeah,
It's
well, it's not. Their bind is always with themselves.
yeah.
So what
Let's
it
talk
co-
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so what it does, even for me, I remember, um sorry, my daughter brought her dog. It's her dog's first birthday, and I told her not to come until we were done recording.
That's
And now my
is
dog
there a dog? I mean, should we
Oh, you
put a
can't
dog?
even hear the dog
No,
whining?
can't
Okay.
hear anything. Can't hear the dog at all.
Okay.
No,
Um,
nobody can hear. It's so crazy though, but I felt the dog earlier and I'm like, should we like celebrate the dog because it's like the dog's first birthday? You know,
right, exactly, exactly. Well, the dog's first birthday is, okay, anyway, let's get
a little
back to
bit
the
of
real
joy
thing.
there, a little bit of joy. Well, look at you just brought in this real life, this you said everything you said. this matters to me, my home, celebrating all the things. And then we just had some crazy little blippy thing that came on the screen. I think it was a little celebratory thing. And that's weird. All the energy and all the joy that you value most just showed up. And we
Yes,
don't want to diminish
exactly.
that. I mean, this is like real raw conversation, that is heart-centered, that, and this is why I wanted you to talk about money and wealth,
Yeah.
because you really get it on where we get hung up emotionally, and that
Mhm.
it's a personal relationship with self. Money's just
Self.
hanging out there energetically, and it's saying, "Hey, I'm abundant and I'm out here, and what are you doing with that?" And
Yes, and if you're gonna heal your relationship with money, you gotta heal your relationship with yourself. I'll never forget, I was making a $500,000 a year, and my youngest daughter, she must have been, let's call I don't recall, maybe 12 years old at that time, and she came in and she's like, "Mom, why do you work so much?" And I'm like, "Sophie, I have to work hard because I'm the one making the income and blah, 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 and we need more." And all of a sudden I was like, "I'm making a $500,000 a year." And my daughter like
more.
right? And, 'cause I wasn't okay inside.
Yeah.
Okay, because I wasn't enough inside.
But
And
you
so
just
my
but
money
yeah,
was never enough.
what you just said, I often say I coach some of the wealthiest women in the world, and their scarcity stories, it doesn't matter what they negotiate in a divorce or what they have in that bank account, it's not enough. And
Mhm.
I'm like, um, and then I one day it was like, how much would make you feel safe? How much would be enough? Because there isn't enough money out there to make you feel safe. This is an inside job. But I found it over and over and over again. It wasn't just one story, and it was years ago. It was in every story. And then I recognized that in the beginning of my work that this is the personal relationship side of money, that I don't
Mhm.
care whether they get 17 million or 47 million, it's not enough in their mind. It's like, "Oh, no, it's gotta be more. There's gotta be more." And they don't even know what that number is, and I thought, "Ah, there we
Mhm.
are." It's
Yeah. And
and
that's
it
the first step is knowing your number, and how much is enough and knowing your internal worth.
do we need to know a number?
Yeah,
Or
we
is
do.
there a
There
yeah.
is a number. Yeah, there is a
Ooh.
number. Everyone's number is a little bit different, but you can figure out the number, and that's the first step in financial planning is figuring out what your number is. How much is enough? Is it what how much is enough? That is the
Oh,
first.
Dawn, I don't have a number. I think we're gonna have to get together and get me a number. Oh,
Well, look at that again. Yes.
this is getting
Yes.
really weird. Our hands are down. It's like the universe just came in and said, God just came in down and said, "Yep, we need a number.
We need a number.
We
That's
need
the
a number."
first step is knowing technically what your number is and then freeing up your taxes so you can have your money start working harder for you so you can invest that money and
How
then
do we
also
free up our
getting yourself.
taxes? I mean, they say the death and taxes are what I think we accept that taxes are just gonna be there. I
No.
mean,
Yeah, they
yeah, talk
are.
about that. Talk about freeing up our taxes. What is
Oh,
like?
there's so many strategies that you can do to free up your taxes.
Listen in, people. Listen in
Yes,
to us.
it's so especially if you are a non-W-2 employee. So if you have 1099 income and you don't work for corporate USA, there's so many ways you can reduce your taxes. Some off the top of my well, first of all, how you structure your business. Number 2, there's something called here's the secret. It's called the Augusta rule. Look it
Mm.
up. We don't have time to talk about it today on this podcast,
I'm
but
writing it down.
the
The
Augusta
Augusta
rule,
rule.
it was from the masters in Augusta, Georgia, and it allows you to rent out your house to yourself for up to 14 days a year. And so you already have house expense. You're just basically like sending yourself an invoice for all the expenses you already have in your house because you're hosting events or parties or something work related in your home. It saves tons and tons. I mean, I'm talking tens of thousands of dollars in tax savings, the Augusta rule alone. And then how you structure your business, how, if you have children, how you can pay your children or take some of your income and transfer it to your spouse so they can open up retirement plans, health savings accounts, when to do backdoor Roth IRAs, Roth conversions. Like there's so many things you can do to minimize your taxes. And people, it's so overwhelming that people don't even start to do it. That's why, I mean, obviously I own a wealth advisory firm, right? So I'm the CEO of a company that does financial planning and investment management and taxes for everyone. So of course I'm going to promote that. But it's so true. It's like you can hire somebody to a whole team of experts to do all the work for you. And at the end of the day, you end up making more. And you then have the extra money because you've saved money in taxes and you have like investments now. And now take that extra savings and go to personal development and start healing yourself. Like there's so many things you can do. It's just people don't want to face it. I'm just like, get rid of the lies in your head and the beliefs from other people and start living you. Start living you. And, who cares what you've done with money in the past? It's like, what are you going to do moving forward? Because life's not over yet.
So
And
give yourself permission to forgive
permission.
for all the overspend. Anything you've done from this point forward,
Amen.
just have a new relationship. I love that because my next question was, why do so many of us have broken relationships with money even when we started doing the right things? Talk about that. Why do so many people have broken relationships with money?
Because it's how your subconscious brain is wired. It's on a repeat. It's on repeat. And so you still have a broken relationship with money, even though you're doing the right things. Maybe you're investing and you've hired a CPA and you're doing all of the things. Just like, I mean, come on, let's be real. Like I was in the business for 10 plus years and I still had a broken relationship with money. And I was doing all the things. It's because I had a broken relationship with myself. And so we get caught up in all of these things and all of these insecurity lies, right? They're lies and which forces us to live in fear and insecurity. And then what we end up doing is the broken relationship is because we're not spending our time on the right things, right? You hire out, in fact, everybody should do this. They should hire a professional for the how because, no one's in the business. Most people aren't in the business to do how do I invest appropriately? How do I reduce my taxes? Like, and that's not your lane of genius, right? So hire that out from a trusted fiduciary advisor. And then what you do is you focus on you. And when you do that, you have money then to go to personal development or hire a coach or do whatever to focus on the best version of you and like suddenly you have all this extra money. I'm not kidding. It happens. Like I've been doing this for 25 years. It works if you do it right. You need to hire out the stuff that you don't want to do, and there's so much of it. And then you take that extra money and you start focusing on healing you. We all need to be healed and it never goes away. Like we never get to a point, Dana, I believe, my opinion, I'm very spiritual. I spend a lot of time daily in the Bible, reading devotions, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I truly believe we never arrive fully on this planet, but when we're every day making the right intention to become better and to think better, and that's really what it comes down to is to think better and trust in something bigger than yourself to help you out when you don't have none of us have the internal wealth to do everything. We just don't. We're human beings. We make mistakes and we have problems and we have challenges and conflict and all of the things all day long. But when we rely on something bigger than ourselves and we let go of some of that control that all of us women try to have, and we work,
We don't want anyone to see the imperfections. So what you're really saying is lean into your genius, let your ego stop protecting all the areas, ask for the help. And this is where I think women really struggle. I know where my genius is. I know where it's not. In the financial, can I make a lot of money? Oh yeah. Am I a money attractor? Oh yeah. But in managing it, my relationship with that is, it is not my lane. I give myself permission now, not only to say that, but the freedom I felt. I don't need to have anyone else say, oh, she's been through a bankruptcy. She's lost her. So look at the best yep. Chaos after chaos after, you bet, which makes me ultra qualified to do what I do because I have not only learned from it, I have been there. I know exactly what it feels like to hide and have so much shame around it. And I can blame a million different reasons for it happening, but the accountability of, terrified. I was terrified of the consequences, the money. I just put my head in the
Right.
sand and thought,
That's a self-esteem thing that you had to work
yeah.
through, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because you're fearful, and then fear
Yeah.
creates us to feel a lack of.
And the
Yeah.
shame of, oh, we don't want anyone to find out about that.
But that's insecurity too. Like,
Yep.
who cares? And the thing is, if everyone
Who
would be
cares?
authentic,
People,
and
did you hear that? She said, who cares? She sees
who
the
cares?
best and the worst of everyone's finances, and it's like, who cares? Just do it. Just do the thing.
Do the thing, because we all have weaknesses and we all have had problems. And when we try to become this perfect version of ourselves, it's just lies. When we try to be perfect, like, come on a podcast, be perfect, don't have the dog bark, blah, blah, blah. It's like, screw that. Like, I'm a human being and you're a human being and we're not perfect. But when we actually get to just be authentic ourselves, like, that's when we start to help people, we help ourselves. We're like, yeah, like, life can suck sometimes, and we all have weaknesses. It's okay. It's okay. It's like, that's how you build your self-esteem, is when you're like, it's okay to operate in the shitstorms of who I am, because that's who I am. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. You teach people how to save for tomorrow without sacrificing today.
Yes.
What does that look like? Because
Ooh, yes, that's a huge one, because especially
Huge one.
us with lots of energy like to spend lots of money.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
So it comes down to the financial planning. So when you here's what I believe is the most important thing, and this is what we do in our investment firm, is you find your enoughness number. Like, how much is enough?
Mhm.
Okay. So when you find that number,
Your enoughness number.
uh-huh.
Love that. I'm writing that down. Enoughness number.
Yes. When you find your enoughness number, then what happens is that it helps you live today knowing how much you need to save for tomorrow and how much you can spend for today. And then once you know that, then you start going, how do I reduce my taxes? First and foremost, that is your biggest expense. Like, how do I reduce my taxes so I can free up maybe 10, sometimes I've seen 20% or more of clients' income to go, wow, now I just freed up my taxes. I know I'm going to be okay tomorrow because I'm saving for tomorrow. And now I freed up my taxes, and now I have this extra money so I can go buy the green sparkly $2,000 shoes guilt free, because I know my enoughness number.
Oh, I love that enoughness number. I think that right there is brilliant. Knowing what that number is. And I think I don't hear people talk about that enoughness number.
Mhm.
I hear
Yeah.
them diverting and doing anything but deal with the enoughness and then of course the taxes. It's always
Yeah.
going to be there, so I'll just deal with it.
Correct. Exactly. But you can save so much money at any income level if you're smart about the tax planning. And I also want to say this to the listeners, like, I believe sometimes a lot of times, our pain in our life becomes our passion. And so I had pain around money growing up because I constantly heard, we don't have enough, we can't afford this, we're going to
Grow
run
on
out.
trees.
Yeah, glad, right? Exactly. No, we can't go to Disney. We can't do this. We can't, right? That's all I heard. No, 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 no. Um, and so I said, for me to figure out that part, I got to be educated. So that's how I became a financial advisor. But I also realized that my mother, who had so much anxiety around money, and she was never enough, and she was an alcoholic, and the alcohol just numbed her pain, right? And so why do I help people build worth and wealth at the same time? It's because I've dealt with that same pain. When you have an insecure mom, I became insecure. Like, I didn't love myself until other people loved me. And so I've had to do a lot of this internal work myself, but at the same time, I'm sitting there coaching clients on the technical advice around money. I'm like, this doesn't the technical advice around money doesn't even come close. You can educate and pound people over the head with the education of how money works, but if they don't understand that behavior and all of the other beliefs and the core values and all that kind of stuff, they get nowhere. And so I was like, you guys have so much money, why are you still worried about money? I'm like, oh, now I know I need to introduce this other piece into my business. So I say that because I want people to know that I've dealt with all the things too.
Yeah. I love that.
I've dealt with them all. I took that because I have so much energy. I took that negative energy and wanted to turn it into something positive. So again, if I can do it, if Dana can do it, like we are not special people. We just have faced our fears and got
Yeah.
through it to the other side, and it's a beautiful place to be.
It is a beautiful place to be, and it's still growing. It's a different
Always.
playing field, but it's like I always say, "New level, new devil." There's something else that'll show up, and there's another fear, and that challenge, I have to meet it. It's like,
Yeah.
the bigger tax bill or the bigger and I think it stops people if they don't lean into someone like you that can hold space for that emotional, not just the money, but the emotional aspects. That if I hear this a lot. People will sabotage their growth in their business due to the fact they don't know how. If they made $1,000,000, I don't know how to manage it. I don't know what that would look like for taxes. I'll go under. It's like I see these, you could see the deer in the headlights.
There's more fear.
They're
Yeah.
gonna play small. How can you talk to people, and I'm gonna phrase it a little differently than what I wrote down, for the people that sabotage before they even get there due to the fear of what management of money would look like? What is really going on with them?
Well, part of it is real. I mean, the more money, right? There's more complications. There's
Yeah.
higher estate, like there's just way more complexity with money and decision making. But at that point too, you have to continue at no matter what level you're at, you need to continue to operate in your God-given strengths. And the strengths might not be to figure all that other stuff out. And you have to have this trusted team that
Right.
can help you because there is like the more money, more problems, right? It's how it is. But you just have like, there's also like some positive stuff that happens too, because then you surround yourself with people that can help you grow as a human being and put you at a different level with how you think too. And then that opens up a whole nother level of life as well. And I think we're all designed, like God designed us to continue to grow at any age. And so we always have to continue to push ourselves to that next level. And, you know, when you work with the right people for help, when you feel that extra fear or you're self-sabotaging yourself, God opens up the right doors for you, like all these new relationships too. And it's like, oh, this feels so good. Like, I'm so glad I had that issue
Yeah.
because now I responded appropriately to that issue. And now I get all these other new friends.
Yeah, I love that because I think we call it all in. I knew when I met you, it was so aligned. I'm like, "Oh, I know why she's here. I know I'm connected with her. I know
Yeah.
what I need to know. I know where I'm hiding." And it was like all this information came in for me. And I'm like, and then God just brings you there and in those brilliant green shoes. What do you think is the most common money traps that you see high achieving women fall into?
Money traps, that I see high achieving women fall into.
Yeah.
Um, I would say it comes down to control and trust.
Mm.
Um, High achievers like to be in control
Mm.
and they don't like to let go of things that they shouldn't be doing.
Ah.
And we lose trust because some of us have gone through a divorce. Some of us have gone through business divorces. Right? So, and the older we get, like the older I get, the less people I trust, just to be honest with you. Cause I'm like, I used to love everyone and now I'm like, oh, like I had higher expectations for you. Now I don't like you. Um, but I think that's the hard part about achieving women that are achievers. It's what they have to let go of is the control and really spend time in trusted a small group of people, a small group of human beings that they really can trust to help them get to that next level. But it's releasing the control and stop doing the things that you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. Oh, Brilliant, brilliant. I mean, we might wanna just have that rewind, repeat, rewind, repeat, rewind. That's gonna speak to a lot of women.
But it's true. Like,
Yeah,
right?
it's so true.
And for us women, like, I own a company, there's 10 employees, and so many times I find myself doing extra work myself,
Yeah.
because I don't wanna ask my team to do it. I'm like, "Wait a second," like, because 'cause I'm afraid that they're gonna think that I'm too needy, or I don't wanna be like, I'm strong, I wanna do it myself, and I can figure this out myself, and it's like, "Wait a second." Like, you gotta rely on other people to do some of that work, and I think, if we go back to the beginning of our conversation about looking at time, how you're spending your time, and how, like, when you're doing this work that's below your pay grade, no wonder your salary's lower because you're spending time on research and you shouldn't be doing that. Like,
Bravo.
right? It's so true. It's like if you want to get paid more, you want to grow your business, you're self-sabotaging yourself and you get stuck because you're trying to control too much. And I truly believe that with um every bone in my body because I know how high achievers work.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I think that's brilliant. I think that's gonna speak to so many women because I think we all have that level of not only control, but we wanna fix everything ourselves so we can look a little bit better before we release it. It's kinda like cleaning the house before well, I don't do it
Party. Yep.
anymore. Before the party or
Yep.
before the house cleaner comes, I'm
Yep.
gonna clean everything up so she doesn't see things I used to do that. It was crazy.
Yeah.
The control, that
Yeah.
perfection now I don't do any of that. It's amazing how much
Right.
I delegate now. And it's like not my genius. It's amazing how many women get caught up in their admin. And I'm like, what do you, hire that $45? Why are you doing that? That's not your
Right,
genius.
exactly. Hire it out, and you know what? Yes,
Hire
they
it out.
can't do it as good as you can. Nobody can. But
Yeah.
again, life isn't perfect. So if it gets done 90% right, let it go because the
Let
things
it
you
go.
value most are your time first, your money second.
Oh, I love that. Let it go. This has been, I just think a brilliant conversation. Last question. I mean, I could keep asking you questions because I think there's so much you have so much knowledge that I think people and so many nuggets of wisdom here. But in your life right now, with everything you've created, everything you've done, what feels like love in your life right now?
What feels like love is actually having boundaries for myself and taking care of myself.
Mm,
When I look at the 54 years that I've lived on this planet, I've been I love to give. I love to like
yeah.
give out all these things, but I realize sometimes when I overgive, um I'm putting extra love on other people versus really loving me. So this decade for love has brought to me of, I'm going to love on myself a little bit more and
Mm,
become the again, every year is a better version of myself, and how can I spend more time in love, in spiritual connection, and so and not get caught up in the noise of running a business. Sometimes I
mm.
just let the stuff go, and I'm like, "You know what? If I'm gonna spend time with my God, that's what I'm gonna do, and that's how I can love on him, love on myself, and then life just works out." We spend too much time in noise.
Ah. Wow, this must be a common theme today. It's weird that someone else said that earlier to me today, exactly the way and with the energy that you just said it. So,
Mm,
yeah, that's
it's
it's a s
powerful.
it's powerful. It's a
Mhm.
sign.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what? I call you the triple Ds, but
Triple Ds.
don't yeah, I love the triple Ds. I have so much hey, how can people find you? What are you
Uh,
available for? How can they find you? Where's your, like, hub?
yeah.
Where do you hang out?
So, my wealth advisory firm is Relevé Financial Group, Releve. And we are a fiduciary wealth advisory team. We do our clients' taxes, their investments, everything. And so I'm the CEO of that company. Um, and so you can find us there. You can find me anywhere on social under my name, Dawn Dahlby, Dahlby. And you can really learn about my philosophy and the advice that I give. I mean, I have my own podcast. It's on YouTube, like wherever. Just search the name and you will find me all over the internet.
You're going to find a wealth of information. I just had to say that. Dawn Dahlby, I love you. Own your
I
wealth,
love
grow
you.
your wealth, live wealthy. Everything about this book, I love the book. She has lessons, she has questions. It's interactive. It's kind of a teaching book too. You could even
Mhm.
I mean, everything about it was a surprise to me of how much I learned.
Mm.
When I picked it up, I'm like, oh, I thought I knew more. But it's so nice to know that I'm still open to growing, and you are a blessing to so many people. I adore you. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for being here on the Dana Grant Show. I can't wait to connect with you again. Have a brilliant party in 2 weeks, and I have no doubt we're going to be at a party again soon with those great green shoes. I love
Amen, girl. All right. Thank you. And love you too. Thank you for allowing me to be on your podcast.
a blessing. Thank you everyone for showing up today. And remember all the deets, all the information. We're going to have links to connect with Dawn, and you're going to want to do it. Don't wait on your financial stuff. It's big. It's a catalyst that will move your life forward. I'm going to just throw that in there. It's a big one. All right. Bye for now, everyone.